Live again to discuss Iran war situation. We analyze social media footages and reports which can be unverified at times. We analyze these unverified social media reports and footages purely from documentary and educational point of view, strongly following the YouTube community guidelines. Let's begin with the most important news that only 3 hours are left. Only 3 hours are left for the deadline to end, which Donald Trump gave, that Iran should open the Strait of Hormuz, and only 2.5 hours are now left. 2.5 hours are now left. 2 hours and 30 minutes are now left for the ultimatum which Donald Trump gave to Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz. Otherwise, they even invited the children. These are the visuals which you see that Iranian people have gathered and formed human chains in front of the power plants, basically signaling to Donald Trump that he shouldn't be attacking these power plants. Iranians are forming human chains in front of power plants in order to signal Donald Trump that he shouldn't attack these power plants. And President Trump tells Fox News that he is in heated negotiations with Iran. President Donald Trump tells Fox News that he is in heated negotiations with Iran. These are visuals when Tehran was attacked by US and Israeli strikes. Hezbollah strikes with a drone. Hezbollah using drone to strike. Hezbollah has used drones to strike tanks, Israeli tanks in Lebanon. And there you see the impact. Donald Trump has said that Donald Trump is saying that once the deadline is over, only 4 hours will be needed to bomb all of the power plants of Iran. That means total 90 power plants, and also the major bridges of the world. That operation would be only 4 hours long. In these visuals, Al Jazeera is reporting that you can see that Iranians have formed human chains in front of their power plants, and they say that signal to Trump that these shouldn't be attacked, the power plants shouldn't be attacked. The situation has basically reached a historic boiling point. The rhetoric between Tehran and Washington has shifted from military posturing to threats of national extinction. Iran guarantees that they will not be attacked again. The IRGC and Supreme Leader of Iran, Mustafa Khamenei, have vowed to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed as their primary lever of pressure. They have even urged Iranian youths to form human chains, and you see around the power plants to protect them from threatened US strikes. And these are the visuals which we are showing you that Iranians have formed human chains around the power plants to protect them from threatened US airstrikes. We are showing you the visuals that Iranians have formed human chains to protect power plants from threatened US strikes. President Trump and Secretary Pete Hegseth have adopted the most aggressive posture in American history towards Iran. Trump warned that if the strait isn't opened by the deadline, a whole civilization will die tonight. He specifically authorized the destruction of every major bridge and all 90 power plants in Iran. In a controversial statement, Donald Trump claimed that US has intercepted communications which show Iranian citizens are asking for the bombing to continue so they can be free from the Iranian regime. The US has moved away from targeting just military sites. By targeting the power grid, they are attempting to trigger a total collapse in one night. Pakistan's PM made a last-second plea to Donald Trump for a 2-week extension. The White House says they are aware of it, but Trump's tone remains that the strike would happen if the Strait of Hormuz remains closed. US forces have already destroyed the B-1 bridge in Karaj. This was a test strike to show the IRGC they can hit anything anywhere. The IRGC warned that if the US hits the power grid, the response will be beyond the region, implying potential strikes on US bases in Europe or deeper into the Gulf. The successful rescue of F-15 weapon system officer has removed the only brake on Trump's aggression. He no longer fears American pilots being held as human shields. The firing of top US generals who resisted civilian infrastructure strikes showed that Trump administration is prepared to ignore traditional rules of engagement. Iran is betting that $150 plus oil price will break West's resolve. The US is betting that darkness and no water will break Iranian regime's resolve. So only 2 hours and 30 minutes are now left, and we will see after this time ends that what will happen. Will we see the extension in the deadline, as there are some reports coming from various outlets, especially including CNN and ABC News, that talks are still going on, and we might see a good news soon coming that the deadline of attacks has been extended, and the talks are going on. The last minute talks are going on. We might see a news that the talks have successfully delayed the attacks on power plants by 1 more week. These are reports coming, but these are unverified up till now. Initial unverified reports suggest that talks are still going on, and we might see ceasefire for 1 week. But now only it's not confirmed now, but now um, 2 hours and 30 minutes are left for the deadline to end, which Donald Trump gave. And then we'll see whether there is extension in the deadline or Donald Trump goes ahead with the bombing of civil infrastructure in Iran, raising the war, escalating the war to a whole new level. Let's read your comments. Iran is protesting right now. People in Iran in the streets now. Yes, people are Iran in the streets now. They have made human chains to protect their power plants. They are forced to protest. Said hi. They are in protest. God, justice soon be with people of Iran. Iran is great. Iran have become a world threat. These are comments we are reading. Iran wants to maximize mayhem. It will not be extended anymore. Adopt from 34 years Fort Fallon. They will not reply to threats coming from the Epstein gang. Trump and MAGA. This is live. We are live streaming and showing you recent visuals, and some can be little old as well. And we are providing you analysis from documentary and educational point of view on unverified reports from social media, strongly following the YouTube community guidelines. Trump taste hold here with Russia. Where is this war? Did the power plants get bombed? Where is this fire? Trump, no, the power plants did not get bombed. Still 2.5 hours are left in the deadline, and still the negotiations are going on. And we might hear some good news that the ceasefire is in place. For a temporary ceasefire might be, but these are unverified reports up till now and initial reports, and 2 hours and 30 minutes are still left, and after that we will see that will the power plants be bombed, or will we see another extension in the deadline. Please do take part in the poll as well. 126 people have voted up till now. Will Iran open Hormuz? 29% of the people say yes, 71% of the people say no. I do believe that yes, Hormuz will be closed, and it will open only as a result of negotiations. President Trump issued a final warning on Truth Social, stating that a whole civilization will die tonight if Iran does not reopen the Strait of Hormuz. If Iran does not open the Strait of Hormuz, then a whole civilization will die tonight. This was the threat from Donald Trump, and the US has explicitly threatened to strike Iran's entire civilian power grid and national bridges, moving the war from military targets to total infrastructural collapse. The Maximum Pressure 2.0, designed to force a domestic uprising by threatening the very survival of the state's functioning, Trump is betting that Iranian military will turn on its leadership to save the country from one night annihilation. Just hours before the deadline is ending, Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shahbaz Sharif, has issued an urgent public appeal to President Donald Trump to extend the deadline by 2 weeks. As the primary mediator, Pakistan has signaled that diplomatic efforts are progressing steadily and could lead to substantive results if given more time. There has been no official word from White House on whether the extension was granted, though the next few hours will reveal if US bombers begin the grid strike. This is Saudi Arabia's defense minister said Tuesday intercepted ballistic missiles. Yes, 2 hours and 20 minutes are left till and no, we'll see whether another extensions happen in it or not. Only 2 hours are left. Yesterday, Kharg Island was hit by US Air Forces, and Iran's main oil export terminal is in Kharg Island. Bushehr nuclear power plant. The IAEA confirmed that the premises of the Bushehr nuclear power plant were indeed struck by Israeli and US forces, raising massive regional radiation concerns. Israel has vowed to intensify damage as they approach strategic crossroads. The destruction of bridges and fuel depots across the mainland is seen as prelude to potential ground incursion. So this was the latest news from Iran war situation, that 2 hours and 20 minutes are just left in the deadline and threat which Donald Trump gave to Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz. Otherwise, US will be bombing their 90 power plants and major bridges. Today, literally, this Iranian embassy in UAE mocked Donald Trump, and when Donald Trump said open the Strait of Hormuz, otherwise Iran will be bombed heavily, the Iranian embassy in Zimbabwe basically mocked Donald Trump, and they said we have lost the keys to Hormuz. They said we have lost the keys to Hormuz. Look, I'm 70 years old, have seen Laura, do not please do take part in the poll as well, which we have created. Do subscribe the channel and like the video as well. US can launch this is not recording, I am live here providing analysis of unverified social media footage, especially analyzing the ultimatum, which is now ending within 2 hours. US is thinking of having troops on ground, and that can be a limited war. And can this happen? And can US actually hold the Kharg Island? The answer we'll find out. Kharg Island is basically the jugular vein of Iran's economy. It handles over 90% of its oil exports, Iran's oil exports. While US Marines and Special Ops could certainly seize the island due to overwhelming air superiority, but holding it is a logistical nightmare. The island is only about 25 miles away from Iranian coasts. And this puts every US soldier on the island within range of Iran's thousands of mobile short-range missiles, heavy artillery, and suicide drones. Iran could choose to shell its own infrastructure to kill US troops, essentially saying if we can't have our oil, no one can. To hold it, the US would need to maintain a constant missile defense umbrella over the island 24/7. Military analysts warn this would lead to mission creep, where the US is forced to invade the Iranian mainland just to stop the artillery firing at the island. Reports from Iranian state media and analysts suggest that if the US seizes Iranian territory like Kurg, Iran may retaliate by attempting to seize or occupy parts of UAE, specifically the Northern Emirates or Bahrain. Why would Iran do this? If the US holds Kurg Island, Iran wants to hold something of equal or greater value to trade. Capturing parts of UAE or Bahrain would give Iran bargaining chips to force a US withdrawal. By attacking UAE and Bahrain, Iran aims to prove that US cannot protect its allies. The goal is to make the cost of supporting the US so high that Gulf nation demands a ceasefire. Bahrain is the headquarters of the US Fifth Fleet. A ground or any ground or amphibious assault on Bahraini coasts would be a direct attempt to paralyze US naval operations in the region. Seizing coastal areas on the other side of the Gulf would give Iran total control over both sides of the shipping lanes, making it impossible for the US Navy to clear the Strait of Hormuz. So this was a summary and analysis of what will happen and what might happen if US launches a ground invasion of Kurg Island, and what would be the reaction of Iran. And will a small scale ground invasion work or not? I have told you with detail that what would be the difficulties which US would be facing. The threat to the Bab el-Mandab Strait, the southern entrance to the Red Sea, has moved from rhetoric to active disruption. On March 28, Houthis officially declared the strait a hostile zone. Over the last 48 hours, they have increased drone and missile activity targeting the vessels linked to US and Israel. Iran and the Houthis are attempting to cut off the safety valve. Since the Strait of Hormuz is mostly blocked, Saudi Arabia has been piping oil across the desert to its Red Sea port in Yanbu. By threatening Bab el-Mandab, the Houthis are trying to trap that oil in the Red Sea region, preventing it from reaching Asia or Europe. If both Hormuz and Bab el-Mandab remain closed, analysts predict that oil could go up to $150 to $200 a barrel. The conflict in the north has transitioned from border skirmishes to a high-intensity security zone war. Israeli objectives are Israel has shifted its goal from disarming Hezbollah to establishing a South Lebanon security zone. The IDF is currently conducting a ground offensive in southern Lebanon to push Hezbollah forces back towards Litani River. Israeli strikes hit the Jinnah neighborhood in Beirut, killing at least 11 people. This follows threats to destroy Lebanon's main border crossing with Syria to basically cut off Hezbollah's supply lines. Hezbollah claimed to have hit an Israeli warship with cruise missile yesterday, though IDF has not confirmed any damage. Hezbollah also showed drone footage when a drone, $10,000 to $20,000 drone, was used to take down 3 tanks, allegedly. Now, please do subscribe the channel as well and like the video as well. Share your thoughts in the comments, ask questions, do take part in the poll, do subscribe as well. Let's give you the update that now only 2 hours are left. Only 2 hours are left in the deadline which Donald Trump gave to Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz. Otherwise, all of the power plants and bridges would be bombed by US if Iran doesn't open Hormuz. Iranians replied by saying, "We have lost the keys." Let's read some of your comments and see if we have some questions from you people. People don't understand America. They are no difficult. America is to American government. We have many comments now. Let's read some of the comments. Trump is doing No American bases in the Middle East. They will have to open soon for the citizens. Sending prayers. America is committing genocide. Donald Trump's action is so slow, not considering lives of human children. Please wait. What is this? Decision once again get the short end of the stick. Trump is this. Iran chants they want to unalive all the US. They don't care about women. Iranian leaders didn't care about the 45,000 people on they slaughtered. Americans have to pay for this. Iran is no watch for USA. I'm seeing useless Democrat supporters on chat. People need to read their biblical America and Babylon does not exist. Praying for everybody. US want withdraw. Trump not messing around. American government and dangerous for the world. Peace, prosperity, and security. Iran has no power. Iran is all talk and no power. America no win. The war is not won. People don't understand. America doesn't even care for their own people. Comment from Deshon. I am reading your comments, all of your comments. The Kurds are kicking. Europe will not help. They will have underground cities in America. Only their people have to survive. Support justice for yes, support justice and arrest Trump and Democrats wants America to fail. Justice for Palestine. Praise for innocent people around the world. Stolen land is no freedom. Justice for closed for. I don't hate anybody. I am not judging, but America has stolen everything from other people, other nation. It needs to stop. Interesting comment. What's happening? This is terrifying. 11 support from Canada. Thank you, Justin. Trump is great. We are the champions, my friend, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. Tomorrow morning, anything will change. My almost very close, but we are the champions. We are always harassed for different ethics. Don't people understand? They even care about us, even speaking. USA will be better without LGBT. USA will be better without LGBT. Yes, I agree. And we have received now 385 votes. Will Iran open Hormuz? 29% of people say yes, 71% of the people say no in 388 votes. Please do make this session interactive one by commenting your thoughts and questions in the comment. Do subscribe the channel and like the video as well, and share your thoughts. And we are updating you now that only 2 hours are left now. We are updating you a major update. Only 2 hours are now left before the deal before the deadline ends, which Donald Trump gave. And within these 2 hours we'll see if the strikes are happening or if we see extension in the deadline. Let's check some updates. If we have some updates that whether Iran, the decades of terrorism won't continue under President Trump. This is the statement of President Trump. Iranian military spokesperson threatens infrastructure attacks that will deprive US allies for region. Iran's Iran's aluminum plants have been hit now. And only 2 hours are left, and we will see whether negotiations take place or whether negotiations take place or whether bombings continue. And President Trump's give update from Vernon. The update is that 2 hours are left. Negotiations are still going on. Some of the news coming, which is unverified, and initial reports up till now from ABC News and CNN that negotiations are going on, and we might see extension in deadline or some sort of ceasefire, temporary ceasefire. But these are unverified now. Up till now, nothing is confirmed. Trump going TECO. 2 hours are left. Why does Iran talk big? But once we have confirmed news, then we will be telling you that what's happening. Once we have confirmed news that what's happening now, but only some talks are going on, and we might see a ceasefire or extension in deadline, but these are unverified reports and initial reports. Only time will confirm the truth in these reports. These are unconfirmed up till now. Only 2 hours are left. Only 2 hours are left now. Only 2 hours are now left. And after that, we'll see if Donald Trump continues with its bombing of Iran power plants, or we'll see ceasefire. and the situation is currently in a state of extreme tension. Iran hasn't closed Hormuz only to US and close friends involved in this war. I am in Dubai, ABC says this, and in Iran from Iran, and I can get away. The bombs are coming. IRGC gonna make a deal. IRGC, not IRGC, but Iranians mocked President Trump today. They said that we have lost the keys to Hormuz. The situation is tense, and 2 hours are only left. And we'll see if what happens, if President Trump will act on his health deadline, which is just ending in 2 hours. On Monday and Tuesday, Iran officially rejected the proposed 45-day temporary ceasefire. Their stance is that this is a pause trap, and they are demanding a permanent end to the war with international guarantees that they will not be attacked again. Pakistan remains the lead mediator and plans have been Pakistan is working on ceasefire plans. This suggests an immediate ceasefire and the reopening of Hormuz, followed by 15 to 20-day deep negotiations in Pakistan. Pakistan's leadership made a last-ditch effort just hours ago, asking President Trump for a 2-week extension on his deadline to allow these talks to finalize. President Trump deadline for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz is ending now within 2 hours. He threatened that if no deal is reached, the US would decimate every bridge and power plant in Iran. The Iranian people I'm reading your comments now. At this moment, there are no confirmed reports that the massive grid takedown has begun, because the negotiations are still going on and 2 hours are still left. But there is also no confirmation that Trump has accepted a Pakistani request for extension of the deadline. And even without the full grid strike, Israel and US have ramped up attacks on Kharg Island and South Pass gas field and aluminium plants over the last 24 hours to increase the pressure. If the light stays on in Tehran for next few hours, it likely would mean that Pakistani mediated extension was successful behind the scenes. Pakistan is currently the only functional communication channel between Trump and Iranian leadership. There's no ceasefire up till now, and we are in a gray zone where the deadline is near ending, but the massive promised strikes has not yet been begun. The next 2 to 4 hours are most critical of the entire war. So the deadline is ending and we are in the critical phase. The stakes are high. 2 hours are only left. Now, just analyze for the purpose of this stream, if this deadline ends and if US goes with attacking all of the power plants and bridges in Iran, what would be the consequences and effects If President Trump follows through on his threat to destroy Iran's 90 plus power plants and major bridges, the effects would be catastrophic on multiple levels. Striking the power grid is not just about turning off the lights. It creates cascading collapse of modern life. Also, most of Iran's water supply depends on electric pumps and desalination. Without power, tens of millions of people in cities like Tehran and Isfahan would lose access to clean drinking water within 24 to 48 hours. And also, while hospitals have backup generators, they rely on constant supply of diesel. If the bridges and roads are also destroyed, fuel tanks cannot reach them, leading to the failure of life support systems and cold storage for medicines. Jeff Let's Pray, he goes all Teco. This is coming from Independence Live. Teco means Trump's always chickens out. Iran is about to murder more of their people. Did Trump get elected on this? Did Trump already give an ultimatum that was ignored and he did nothing the better? And modern refrigeration would vanish. This would lead to immediate spoiling of food stocks, followed by total breakdown in the distribution of bread and essentials. A grid failure would kill the internet and mobile networks, leaving 90 million people unable to communicate with each other or the outside world. So this is basically the humanitarian crisis, the Stone Age effect, and that this is one of the effects, one of level on which these strikes would affect Iranian people. The water not reaching, the spoils collapse, and the food supply chain gets disrupted, and total isolation as people wouldn't be able to communicate with each other. And then oil prices. Analysts from JP Morgan and others suggest Brent crude could instantly spike to $200 per barrel, and this would cause gas prices in the US, UK, and Pakistan to skyrocket, potentially triggering global recession. Iran's threat to close the Bab el-Mandeb in retaliation would cut off the Red Sea. Combined with the closed Strait of Hormuz, nearly 25% of the world's energy and 15% of the world's global trade would be frozen. Also, Iran has warned that an attack on its vital infrastructure will be met with a proportional response. Iran has threatened to strike power and desalination plants in the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Bahrain. This would expand the war into a regional infrastructural war where nobody has water or power. The IRGC would likely launch its remaining ballistic missiles at US bases in Qatar, Kuwait, and Iraq. So these are some of the effects which would be happening if ceasefire doesn't happen and the US goes on to attack. If US goes on to attack all of the power plants and bridges of Iran. I have mentioned you some of the consequences of what will happen if US goes on to attack all of the bridges and power plants of Iran. So what happens if they blow up American spill somehow? We will get made, but who started this war in America? Trump said the Russia-Ukraine war would end on day one of this second presidency. Never forget. The 90 billion Iranians. So what will happen if Trump is? He has done nothing but lie. The economy is. Let me give this straight. The US was upset that Iran was supposedly killing protesters, no proof, and now Trump wants to destroy that very country. This is the comment from Washed by Iranians want their freedom from their captives. Comment from Donald Hall. I'm reading your comments. Iran is developed nation and not a third world country. 48 hours. Trump said no new wars to win a second election. How's that going, MAGA? Soleimani kids are housed and got themselves deported. Yes, Soleimanis have got themselves deported. It will be hated. What's the comment? It will be hated for the people of Iran. Their fate is now at the hands of the Iranian leadership and limited at the hands of every good Iranian to think he would suffer. I'm reading your comments. Please do take part in the comments as well. On 19 August, the Prime Minister of Iran, Mohammad Mossadegh, was overthrown in a coup d'etat. This strengthened the rule of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the Shah of Iran. It was instigated by. Yes, you are right, Brian, that indeed the government of Iranian Prime Minister, the then Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh, was overthrown by US and UK, and they didn't like the policy of Mossadegh to nationalize Iranian oil. So his government was overthrown by US and UK, and Mohammad Reza Pahlavi was installed as the Shah of Iran. He was there, but he was given more powers, and until he was ousted in the Iranian Revolution of 1979. So basically, before that, Iranians and were very good close friends of US. I don't think he is lying. Iran has a big problem tonight. I don't think he's lying. Thinks he's going to what he's going to do. He is going to destroy civil infrastructure after claiming to have invaded in part to protect civilians. Regime change wasn't a reason. It is another unwinnable war from another president. How much does the IRGC pay you to watch propaganda, especially since you had a hard time reading of MAGA? Free Iran from Islam. This was comment from Louis. Like and subscribe. Thank you. Europe will not help Americans. Europe is done. They have screwed themselves. That is true. We have artifacts from Iran in the Iran is equal to rock 2.0. War is peace. Peace through strength. Same phrase. Iran is this. We have now 726 votes in the 50 minutes. And will Iran open Hormuz? 30% of the people say yes, and 70% of the people say no. Iran will not open the Strait of Hormuz. Germany is only providing Ramstein as a stopper. Do it to Trump. We are heading near to the ending of deadline which Donald Trump gave. Only 1 hour and 45 minutes are left. Only 1 hour and 45 minutes are left in ending of the deadline. And after that, we'll see if we'll see if the negotiations do if negotiations bring some fruit, or if US begins striking Iranian plants. Iran releases aerial footage showing site where US destroyed two C-130 aircraft during rescue operations. This is the site footage of the site where two C-130s got destroyed. Iran claims they destroyed two C-130s, but US says that US themselves destroyed because the C-130s got unusable, and US didn't want this technology to land into the hands of IRGC and Iran. When they don't open, they have a big problem, and that is what the Bible says: Iran will defeat it and will never ever get up to military power again. Subbed, also thank you for keeping us up to date. Brian, thank you. Pete's sake, subbed the channel, thank you. Brian subbed the channel, thank you. That has to stop. So many innocent people have already died. The US is only interested in artifacts. They want to seize their. US is lying. They botched their missions. Iran will get defeated only by air, as the Bible says. Don't do it, Trump, please. We are now only 1 hour and 40 minutes away from to see if what happens. And do also tell that whether US will take the Kharg Island or not. Whether the US will take the Kharg Island or not. Then I'll be sharing news with you, and then my analysis on whether it is possible for US to take Kharg Island or not, or what will be the likely scenario if US lands its forces in Iran. Problems facing, what would be the problems they are facing, and what would be in their success chances, basically, if US lands. So there is the possibility of US ground operation. Military experts basically warn that the ground invasion of Iran is basically fundamentally different and far more dangerous than 2000 invasion of Iraq. Iran is a natural fortress. Unlike the flat deserts of Iraq, Iran is dominated by the Zagros and Alborz mountain ranges. These provide thousands of hidden locations for mobile missile launchers and snipers, making traditional tank march to Tehran nearly impossible. With 90 million people and highly urbanized landscape, any US forces entering cities would face brutal house-to-house urban warfare. Also, while the US currently has roughly 50,000 troops in the region, including 11th and 31st Marine Expeditionary Units, experts estimate a full-scale invasion would require 3 to 5 lakh troops to successfully hold the territory. Even if the US controls the skies, thousands of Iranian suicide boats and drones would target the floating bridge of supply ships needing to feed and fuel the ground force. The IRGC and Basij, which are totaling to 400,000 active plus reserve, are trained specifically for stay behind operations. The US would likely face a massive insurgency and guerrilla warfare from day one. The Persian Gulf is heavily mined. Before a single Marine can land, the US Navy would have to conduct slow, dangerous demining operations under constant fire. Iran has warned that if a ground invasion starts, they will strike power and water plants in the UAE, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia, potentially dragging the entire Middle East into the dark. And targeting seizing Kharg Island, the oil hub for Iran, or the oil in the Strait of Abu Musa, and there is high success chance rate if US targets these. And the 31st MEU abroad, the USS Tripoli, is specialized for these rapid sea raids. They could likely seize an island in 24 hours. Seizing is easy, holding is hard. Basically, understand the difference. Seizing an island is easy, but holding is hard. Once on the island, the Marines would be in range of Iranian coastal artillery, making them sitting ducks. And also capturing major cities or the capital of Tehran, the success is low, chances are low. Most analysts agree this would become a forever war or a quagmire, worse than Vietnam or Afghanistan. The US public, only 7% of the people support a large ground war, would likely force a withdrawal before the mission was finished. Under Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, the US has moved away from nation building. The goal isn't to replace the government but to degrade and depart. The plan is basically land, destroy the missile sites and nuclear labs, and leave. Military history shows that once you land forces, mission creep is inevitable. If a unit gets trapped, the US would be forced to send more troops, leading to a full-scale invasion. If the US lands forces, they will likely focus only on the coasts and the islands to reopen the oil flow. They are unlikely to march into mountains. However, Iran's strategy is to draw the US into those mountains to bleed them out. So this is basically the summary and the analysis that what would happen if US launches a ground invasion, whether full scale or a limited scale ground invasion. Topography makes the terrain difficult for US. Iranian leadership already knows that has estimated its own military capabilities, industrial defense, maintaining about 84 million want their tell IDF to put their boots on the ground. I don't want any more soldiers coming from in coffins. This is coming from Brian's. Freedom is delusional, democracy is propaganda. It is an illegal war led by a man under control. BB has obscene fires. Trump is compromised. Comment from Brian. USA won't invade the mainland. Yes, I agree. It won't invade the mainland. But the problem here is once you start invading a limited coastal invasion or island invasion, it doesn't remain that, because then you are sucked in to invade whole of the mainland, and it becomes a full-scale war than a limited invasion of a coastal island. If Trump couldn't force Iran lashing What type of English accent is that? Not from any place in UK. Sounds totally diabolical. Stay with the information and what you would be needing with the accent. Iran is the I hope no words. I was an ex-marine. Bully says, I can't believe that they sent in Marines in there to do some shit like this. Yes, they have indeed sent some Marines. Iranian leadership knew that with nuclear capability it will be unstoppable, thus it was forcibly stopped on its track. Will the Iranians give up? It may not bring so near they have a working nuclear bomb. I don't think so. They have a nuclear bomb up till now. To commit war crime against the nation, there's a Trump is what war crime? You have to have compassion for life, even in war, or will you become something else than human? That's a great comment from you, Bully. Yes, war should have even war should have some rules, and it should be like that. Let's start fighting and without any rules and regulations and start bombing the children, the schools, the hospitals, the rescue workers, the elderly people. This shouldn't be happening. Even wars should have some rules. Um, we have 857 comments, and will Iran open Hormuz? 30% of people say that no, 30% of people say yes, Iran will open Hormuz, and 70% of the people say no, Iran will not open the Hormuz. Please do. This is we are showing you the visuals when Iranians are forming human chains. Basically, they are forming human chains to protest the threats of President Trump. That when President Trump said that he would be bombing the power plants in Iran. These are the trackage of MC-130J aircrafts during the rescue mission of Iran. During the rescue mission of pilots from Iran. Please do subscribe the channel and like the video as well, and share your valuable thoughts in the comments as well, and we are reading your comments. We are reading your comments as well. Do share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe the channel and like the video as well. Now only 90 minutes are left. 90 minutes are left only in the deadline, which is about to end. Only 90 minutes are left in the deadline, which is about to end very soon, and we'll see if we have another ceasefire, or if we see another ceasefire, or another if would see that if it would be ceasefire or another increase in the ultimatum, or US begins attacking Iran within 90 minutes. Only 90 minutes are left, and we'll see what would happen then. Will there be ceasefire, or will there be again another deadline, or Egypt's foreign minister discussed with Pakistani's counterpart efforts to reach understandings between US and Iran to stop war. Let's see what happens. Only 90 minutes are now left. Only 90 minutes are left. Only 90 minutes are left, and let's see if a ceasefire happens or President Trump orders the destruction of bridges and the destruction of power plants in the US. We are trying to find out the breaking news if we get. Only 90 minutes are left. Only 90 minutes are left, and we are sharing you the live news, and we'll update you once we have information, and you have to wait 90 minutes and we'll see if there is a ceasefire or there is the extension, the deadline, or President Donald Trump gives go ahead to US forces to attack the bridges and power plants of Iran. There are kind of little reports coming, but unconfirmed up till now, and unverified as well, that we are kind of slowly heading towards an extension in the deadline or possibly a temporary ceasefire. These are reports coming which are now up till now unverified, and also these are unverified up till now, and also they are in their initial phase, and so no confirmation up till now. Let's see if these are Iranian peoples who have gathered. These are Iranian peoples who have gathered outside and made human chains, and they are basically protesting, and basically they are protesting against the US when US threatened that they would be bombing the nuclear facilities, the power plants of Iran. No one wants the war, and leaders is bent on having a nuclear bomb to be untouchable. That is the problem. That's why neighboring country copied out to put the country is supposed to be financially insolvent, yet the Iran war is costing us $1 billion a day. Yes, $1 billion a day it is costing Johnny Robinson, and up till now, US has already spent around $40 billion in this war, and they have lost important assets as well, including a $1.1 billion early warning radar system that was deployed in Qatar, also two C-130s, four F-15s, one KC-135 Strato tanker, one E-3 AVAX, and also Sentry plane, and two Black Hawks. And these are some of the assets which you have US, and 20 to 30 drones as well. And these are some of the list which I have told you, the assets of which US have lost in this war up till now. 909 votes, 910 votes we have received up till now. Will Iran open Hormuz? 30% of the people say yes, and 70% of the people say no, Iran will not open the Hormuz. And with that, let me share you the comment which the Iranians made today when Trump threatened to open the Strait of Hormuz, or else he will be bombing Iran. The Iranians replied that the keys to Hormuz, we have lost the keys to Hormuz, so we can't open it. Basically, they mocked the threats of President Trump. Now 80 minutes are now only left. 80 minutes are now only left before that deadline ends, and 80 minutes are now left before that deadline ends. 80 minutes are now left before that deadline ends, and we'll see after that what happens, because we have been getting some mixed news that there are negotiations going on, and we might see extension in deadline or a temporary ceasefire. Or also, Trump is hinting um, the order of attacking 90 power plants in Iran. So, kind of mixed news coming now, and that will be confirmed in some time, and we'll see what is happening, and we'll confirm you. Trump always emphasized the US wants to be paid to protect those that need protection, with funding available. Mm-hmm. Do please ask questions, and if you don't have any questions up now, and then it's time for us to wrap this live transmission. If you don't have any questions, we will be ending this transmission very soon, and we will update you then again once we have more news. Before that, before leaving, I would request all of you to please do subscribe the channel and like the video as well, and do share your thoughts in the comment. Do take part in the uh, poll as well, which we have created for you. uh, these are visuals from Iraq. Visuals from Iraq. The stream is live, the visuals can be old. The analysis which we are providing is on unverified footages from social media, purely on educational and documentary point of view, strongly following the YouTube community guidelines. 937 votes up till now. 69% of people saying no. 69% of people say the Strait of Hormuz will not be opened. Now, thank you, and we are ending this live streaming now, and we will be back once we have some more news. Stay with us, and German Mood 420. I guess. I guess. Thank you, German Mood 420, for praying. And I guess what Patrick is trying to say, if he's trying to say, what I get is, if he's trying to say that the situation is funny, then may Allah have mercy on him, and may he be guided to truth, and us all, and what I get from him is that he was asking a question from me, and I tried to answer it, and he's basically asking that whether it was a live transmission or not, and he commented on that this is funny. Basically, he was trying to answer to me when I answered him that yes, this is live transmissions, and the latest visuals, and some visuals can be odd. Then he basically said to me that this is funny. I felt it like that. What if my child supports you study playing on YouTube and I didn't get your question. Where if my child support you study playing on YouTube and Lil Daquan needs school shoes? Okay, if it's not funny at all, so sorry. This crappy government is doing this. Nobody will get him out of office. Even all exposures and truths have been told. Still allowing it to happen. Thank you for clarifying. German mode 420. Thank you for clarifying your comment. And now only 75 minutes are left. 75 minutes are now left. .75 minutes are left now before this deadline is ending. We have 964 votes up till now, and 31% of the people say yes, Iran will open Hormuz, and 69% of people say no, Iran will not open Hormuz. Time for us to take a break now, and we'll be back once we have more news. Before leaving, I would request you all to please subscribe the channel and like the video as well, and share your thoughts in the comment as well. Please do like, please do subscribe. It's it for now, and we'll be back once we have for some more news. Thank you for joining us. We are big breaking news. We have now big breaking news. We have now big breaking news which we are sharing you on the screen to you people. We have now big breaking news which we are now sharing you on the screen, that Trump agrees to 2-week pause in attacks on Iran. Trump agrees to 2-week pause in attacks on Iran. Arnold 777, thank you for sharing this news, and this is a big breaking news. This is a big breaking news. Women of Iran made the Fateh 1-ton ballistic missile, intercontinental women made it. Yes, this is true. American lenders need to make them. It's not a deal. U.S. Trump wins again. Trump is, but Iran needs to fight. Trump is. This is breaking news. This is on your screen right now. Trump agrees to 2-week pause in attacks on Iran. Trump agrees to 2-week pause in attacks on Iran. This is big breaking news which we have right now, which we are showing on your screens, that Trump agrees to 2-week pause in attacks on Iran. So, what does that mean? Let us get some details. What does that mean? Trump agrees to 2-week pause in attacks on Iran. This is big breaking news. Trump says 2-week period will allow Iran agreement to be finalized. Trump says US to suspend bombing attacks for 2 weeks. US President Donald Trump, he agrees to suspend the bombing attacks on Iran for a period of 2 weeks. President Donald Trump says that President Donald Trump says 2-week ceasefire has been announced. Iran launches new wave of missile towards Israel 10 minutes after President Trump announced 2-week ceasefire. IDF says this. Trump agrees to 2-week ceasefire Trump has agreed to 2-week ceasefire. Big news is coming. Donald Trump says a 2-week period will allow Iran agreement to be finalized. 2-week ceasefire has been announced. 2-week ceasefire has been announced. What's about Hormuz line? This is the details are now coming, and probably Hormuz will remain closed for this 2-week period until and unless the full agreement is finalized within period of 2 weeks. So it's all for about wars. Iran is heartless. America government, these corrupt politicians. A 2-week ceasefire has been announced, and the war will be stopped for 2 weeks now. Iran and the US will be basically finalizing agreement, and if that agreement gets finalized, then obviously the Strait of Hormuz will get opened. 2 weeks agreement has been 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, no bombings on Iran, says Trump. Two weeks. Trump agreed to suspend attacks on Iran for 2 weeks. Let me bring in here an interesting piece of news and analysis, and that interesting piece of news and analysis is basically about do you think that remember that downed pilot who got missing for 2 days, and the US said that it was a successful rescue? Can it be that it was taken hostage, that the pilot was taken hostage by Iran, and then they exchanged? It was a diplomatic exchange, and that basically resulted from under the table obviously, and that resulted in basically that forced Trump to get into a ceasefire and to stop attacking for 2 weeks. President Trump announces that the US will be suspending attacks on Iran for 2 weeks, and that Iran will be opening the Strait of Hormuz. This is the tweet, this is the post of Donald Trump from President Donald Trump is saying this post based on, I'm reading his post, based on conversations with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Field Marshal Asim Munir of Pakistan, and wherein they requested that I hold off the destructive force being sent tonight to Iran and subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran, agreeing to the complete, immediate and safe opening of Strait of Hormuz. I agreed to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be a double-sided ceasefire. The reason for doing so is that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives and are very far along with the definite agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. We have a turn-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Almost all of the various points of past contentions have been agreed to between the United States and Iran. but a 2 week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated on behalf of the United States of America as President and also representing the countries of the Middle East. It is an honor for me to have this long term problem close to resolution. Thank you for attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So this was basically, according to this post, Strait of Hormuz is opening soon and with immediately. And this is according to Donald Trump, that the Strait of Hormuz will be opening immediately, and as a result, Donald Trump won't be bombing Iran, and they will be negotiating for a period of 2 weeks, and they hope that it would be a permanent ceasefire and a long-term ceasefire with Iran and US. So this is the update. This update came soon when we were taking leave from our live streaming. This update came then. Interesting comment. Taco Tuesday. Trump always chickens out. 2 comments. Taco Tuesday. We have 1,030 votes now. Will Iran open Hormuz? 31% of people have to say yes. 69% of the people say no. I sincerely and strongly believe and that the rescue operation was unsuccessful that American launched to recover to rescue that weapons system officer of downed F-15 Strike Eagle plane, and that person was taken as hostage, and that person was taken as basically hostage, that he was a colonel and he was taken as hostage, and Iran used that hostage to get this basically ceasefire of 2 weeks, and that was the deal under the table, which has now been surfaced. This is what I believe. If it would have been a successful rescue, Trump would have been attacking Iran. It is basically some kind of deal, and it involves that returning of that officer as well, which US claims that it was a successful rescue operation. What are your thoughts on it? Please do comment as well. The Strait of Hormuz is open. They tried to get the uranium and ended up with pilot stories. An interesting comment. Breaking, we have received the full details on the US-Iran ceasefire announced by President Trump. Details include 2-week pause in subject to Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz. Trump describes this as a double-sided ceasefire brokered by Pakistan. Well done, Pakistan, for mediating between Iran and US. Well done, Pakistan. Trump says the US has already met and exceeded all military objectives. Trump says US and Iran are far along with definite agreement for long-term peace. Trump says Iran's 10-point proposal is workable basis, and this 2-week period will allow an agreement to be finalized. According to this agreement, according to the post from Donald Trump, it says that the Strait of Hormuz will immediately open. We'll see what Iran would be saying. Yes, this is the million-dollar question. What is Iran's ceasefire announcement? And this announcement by President Trump that a 2-week ceasefire deal with Iran has reached. But this is subject to Iran opening to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, it has been 20 minutes since President Trump's announcement, while no confirmation from Iran. Iran is yet to confirm the announcement from President Trump. President Trump announced that yes, the ceasefire agreement has been reached for 2 weeks, and Iran would be opening the Strait of Hormuz. And this is from Donald Trump. Iran, no words. Up till now, Half an hour has passed, and Iran hasn't said any word on it. White House officials confirm Israel is part of the ceasefire as per CNN. Israel is also the part of the CNN. So basically, what is happening now is Donald Trump's announced ceasefire with Iran, 2 weeks. Iran opening Strait of Hormuz immediately. These are terms for 2 weeks. Then negotiations. Then a long-term ceasefire if reached. But is Israel part of it? We have no confirmation on it. And what's the statement of Iran on it? No statement from Iran yet on it. These are reportedly Iran's terms that Trump accepted to negotiate. End of all attacks, full sanctions relief, halt to Israeli strikes, including Hezbollah, reconstruction support, secure Hormuz shipping, guarantees against future attack. In return, Iran would reopen Hormuz with a $2 million shipping force. Source New York Times. This is huge if this happens. This is basically from Account Clash Report. This is basically yes, Mots, Iran just responded to Israel with missiles. This is basically from Clash Report account on Twitter, which is now called has now been named app as X, and this says that account Clash Report says that Iran submitted a 10-point proposal to end the war via Pakistan, demanding end of all attacks on Iran, full sanctions relief, halt to Israeli strikes on Hezbollah and Yemeni Houthis, reconstruction support, secure Hormuz shipping, guarantees against future attacks. In return, Iran would reopen Hormuz with the $2 million per ship fee. And this is big. This is big if these Iranian demands are met. Let's now, when ceasefire has been reached for 2 weeks, and does Trump accept $2 million and assistance in rebuilding? Up till now, the ceasefire agreement has been reached for just 2 weeks, and this is according to Donald Trump, that the US wouldn't be bombing Iran and Iran would be opening Strait of Hormuz immediately. This is what we know from what Donald Trump said. But there has been no statements officially from Iran on it now. So we don't know Iran is opening Hormuz or not, or what were the conditions from Iran. And we have no statement from Israel as well. We'll know in a matter of time what are the statements from those two countries. And also in these 2 weeks the war will stop and there will be more negotiations, and those negotiations will be regarding the long-term ceasefire plan, and that would be these rebuilding of Iran or lifting of sanctions. That would be discussed in that ceasefire negotiations and not now. Pakistan talking this means they must have spoken behind scenes when Trump said Iran will cease to exist and will then decide it will. Pakistan, I believe, to direct neighbor, sweet stick market will grow up now. Now, I hope I have answered your question, MK South Soldier. I hope I've answered your question, and it's now for us time to leave. And thank you for supporting. And please do subscribe the channel, like the video, and do pray. And this is now it. Thank you for your supporting, and this is now it, and we'll signing off. We'll join you Next live would be I'm not sure when would be next live, because already we know that ceasefire has taken place, and it would be 2 hours, 2 weeks of ceasefire. But yes, we will be live tomorrow. Now, tomorrow means kind of next live we will be in couple of hours, not couple of hours, more than that, because I'm now I would now be taking some rest and nap, and then we'll be having next live session soon. We'll join you soon. Please do subscribe the channel, and we'll be updating you. And the confirmation on details, we have already told you that Donald Trump has said, and these are conditions from Donald Trump. Basically, Donald Trump has said that Iran is opening the Strait of Hormuz immediately, and US is not attacking now on Iran. This is what Trump said. No official statement from Iran, no official statement from Israel up till now. And let me check again before leaving if I get any statement for you. Let me get any statement from Iran. No, we don't have any official statement from Iran up till now, and from Israel. But yes, my analysis would be, even if even if Iran doesn't open fully the Strait of Hormuz, Iran would basically be letting some of the ships pass through. Basically, Iran would be letting some of the ships to pass through, and not completely opening the Strait of Hormuz. And obviously, then it makes sense that US wouldn't be bombing Iran, but Iran would not be completely leaving the Strait of Hormuz. Iran will be managing sort of the Strait of Hormuz. It would not be a complete blockade, and it will not be a complete free trade rate. Iran would be managing this, basically allowing some of the containers to pass through while taking heavy fees of $2 million. It will be like this kind of for these 2 weeks, and then there will be negotiations for long-term ceasefire, and that negotiations would see what would the agreement would be reached. That would be after 2 weeks. So this is basically the statement. White House press secretary, when said in the statement about Iran deadline, that only the president knows where things stand and what will he do. Let's see. Qatar says 4 wounded, including a child, by falling missile debris in Iran attack. We pray for that child, for speedy, quickly recovery, and what is actually the statement of what is actually the statement from Iran? We haven't received yet. Okay, now we don't have now any we don't have any news from the Iranian side, and from Israeli side we'll update you once we have those now I get Global South Soldier, I have an update for you. I have an update for you. Stay with us. I have an update for you. This is the Clash report reporting that the United States breaking from Iranian Supreme Security Council. The United States has been forced to accept Iran's 10-point proposal, which includes a fundamental commitment to non-aggression, continued Iranian control over the Strait of Hormuz, acceptance of uranium enrichment, lifting all primary and secondary sanctions, termination of all UN Security Councils and Board of Governors resolutions, compensation to Iran, withdrawal of US combat forces from the region, and cessation of war on all fronts, including against Islamic resistance in Lebanon. So this is the basic point. And Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei approves Pakistan's 2-week ceasefire proposal after intense diplomacy and last-minute pressure from China. So this was basically Iran accepted Pakistan's 2-week ceasefire proposal following frantic diplomatic efforts by Pakistan, last-minute intervention by China, a key ally asking Iran to show flexibility and diffuse tensions amid growing concerns about the economic devastation from damages to critical infrastructure, including the three. According to 3 Iranian officials, the said ceasefire was approved by the new Ayatollah Mujtaba Khamenei. 2-week ceasefire with the US and Israel, mediated by Pakistan. Also, China played role. And now what is happening basically now here is you would know the correct situation. You would know the correct situation in a matter of days, because we have now I'm now reading Israel joins Trump's 2-week ceasefire with Iran. So this is official. This is official that Israel joined US in ceasefire. This is official. Now we have statements from all of the three. We have statements from all of the 3 key players. Israel and US said ceasefire 2 weeks, and said Strait of Hormuz open immediately with 2 weeks negotiations, and then reaching a final agreement if that happens. But Iranian side said that their 10-point proposal, which involves missiles and nuclear enrichment and production, and compensation and stopping of future wars as well, has been considered and will be talked upon by US, and most of those can be reached. Most of those statements, most of those conditions can be met with and can be considered by US. So it is kind of big for Iran as well. And both sides, what they are doing now, that US is claiming victory and said that yes, we have forced Iran to a ceasefire, and Iranians are also doing the same, and they said they are claiming that they are victorious and they have forced US into a ceasefire agreement. And the exact details as to what has happened will know in a couple of days, probably, when the news gets out and we know actually what has happened. So now we are leaving this live transmission. Do subscribe the channel, do like the video as well. Take care of yourselves.